So if I want to learn Wing Chun, what technique should I start with? What should I learn first from a teacher?
Absolutely. So typically, if you're just starting out in Wing Chun, you'd begin with something called Sunim Tao. It's basically the first form, and it's like the ABCs of Wing Chun. It teaches you your stance, your structure, and all the fundamental hand positions. From there, you'd probably move on to practicing things like basic sticky hands drills, and then eventually some wooden dummy techniques. But everything really starts with that first form just to get your foundation solid.
So when I train the Silim Tao, a lot of students find it very boring. Just stand there and just use the hands movement. How can I help the students so that it won't be so bored for them in training Silim Tao? And most people give up on the first day or first week.
Yeah, that's a really common challenge because Sunim Tao is so slow and meditative. One way to help students stay engaged is to give them little goals or things to focus on within the form, like paying attention to their breathing or focusing on feeling every little movement in their joints. Another trick is to break it up a bit, maybe intersperse the form practice with some very simple applications so they see how it translates into real techniques. That way, it feels a bit more dynamic and they're less likely to get bored and give up.
I see. So can we hasten the speed of training in Silim Tao instead of like months and months and months? Can we do that in weeks or days?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. A lot of people want to speed it up because it can feel like a long process. While the traditional approach does take a good bit of time to really sink in, you can definitely make it a little more efficient. For example, you can have shorter, more focused sessions where you're really concentrating on quality rather than quantity, and maybe give them little milestones so they feel progress within a few weeks. You can definitely compress it a bit as long as you keep the key principles intact and make sure they're still getting that solid foundation.
Should I add on some physical training like press up, sit up, and punching pad? Would that help you to motivate the student?
Yeah, absolutely. Adding in some physical conditioning elements like push ups, sit ups, or some pad work can definitely make it more engaging for students. It breaks up the monotony of just doing the form and gives them a little bit of a physical challenge. Plus, it helps them feel like they're building strength and power alongside the technical skills. So, yeah, mixing those things in can definitely keep them motivated and make the training a lot more fun.
So, what you're saying that I break it down to Silim Tao, for example, they do not need to stand there for hours, just practice the form, which is very boring for most people. Is to break it down bit by bit and then add in some sort of physical training like sit up, press